got harvesting done last night. There was 45 acres of beans to no-till in. We got that done. Now we're heading over to a farm that's pretty sure there's only 30 acres ready today. I think it's a 3-dim field. It's supposed to be raining by noon. 8 o'clock now. We'll get over there, get loaded up, and see what we can get. Good morning, everybody. We got filled up with seed. It's supposed to be raining by noon, so 3 hours from now. We got 30 acres to do here. We're back in the swamps of Bright. Played around with the field swath a little bit last night. It worked okay. Be able to go in some less than ideally shaped fields. I like that you can kind of choose wherever you want your GPS line to be. One issue I had last night is the line that I thought I chose that would be good. The 2 points were actually about 2 feet out from the field edge, so I had to nudge the line over anyway, so that if I'm just marking an A and a B along the straight side of the field, I know where the furthest point in is, and I just make sure to mark those 2 points, and then I don't have a skip after my headland rows, but it's hard to see it on the map. Yeah, planning at 185,000. Not taking the markers off anytime soon. Obviously I lost GPS signal at some point there, so it didn't map the entire field. So if I didn't have a marker down, I'd have to freehand the inside pass now. I think that's what happened anyway. I played around with it before. It almost isn't worth the headache. It's nice to have, but to train, I think I'll like it on the air seeder. I should try using it more. The air seeder doesn't have markers, we just kind of overlap 2 feet, and it is what it is, but I'll be cleaning off trees this morning. Yeah, some of these farms you definitely would not get a 60-foot planter in. Watch the mirror. Like, I'm actually surprised he gets his combine in here. So it's an S-series combine, so yeah. So I was going around the second field and it did the same thing again. It mapped the first pass of the headland and then it quit. I don't know if I have it doesn't even give me the option. I thought maybe I had a setting wrong, but it literally just says record. Well, that didn't last very long. It already gave up. Yeah, I guess it doesn't like tree lines. I don't know. That's kind of stupid. I mean, I get it, but does it say it's losing signal? Why does it just stop working? And why doesn't it beep when it's not recording the boundary anymore? We don't really bother ever setting up boundaries or saving fields. Well, I shouldn't say. Pro 700, we never bothered saving fields. We just pull in and you make a line, and by the end of the year, you got 500 lines to choose from, kind of deal. Now the 1200 is smart enough to know that, hey, you're in a different county, you're too far away, you can't physically be in the same field. It makes you punch in a bunch of stuff. So the advantage to that is it has made us better at taking the time to enter the farm, the field, the location. And it is saving the lines now for next applications. So it is nice, but there's so many fields that we only do once and then we're never in again, or you stop doing that customer and you got 17 fields saved. That takes a little bit more management, I guess, to go through and clean up every single tractor every single year. But it's kind of why we hand steer all the headlands and we don't have the fancy boundaries set up, and most of the time we don't even have the GPS lights. You never know if you're going to be in that field again, so why go through all the time and take up the space of storing everything? It's kind of the way we've always been, but there's always room to be better at that stuff. Well, it made it all the way around the field, but that's what it came up with for the headland. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do it like that. Let's do manage. I don't want 3 headlands, I want 2, so apply that. Yeah, we'll just, we'll hand steer around the aggressive corners. How about that? So let's just do square and apply. Okay. Right, I'm probably just gonna drive with the marker, because by the time I remember when to grab the steering wheel, not grab the steering wheel, I'm gonna have lines all over the place. Nice square fields, I think it works good. It worked pretty decent last night, so. I think I'm a long ways from taking my markers off though. It really gets cautious on the bends. It does not want to turn too sharp. Like, we're fine. You could have followed that. You're being a little bit dramatic. Sure, I need to set up. It was asking for the turn radius limits, and I'm sure if I bump those back a little bit, it'd probably try a little harder around the corners. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep playing with that. It only works if it's a problem with us. Is for the most part we keep the corn planter tractor the same, and the bean planter tractor is going to be the same, hopefully, for the next, well, this is a lease, but 3 years. Next 3 years, this tractor should be running the bean planter, assuming it's not broken when we need to plant beans. But the air seeder, it kind of just goes on whatever tractor can pull it. That's sitting in the yard at that moment. 90% of the fleet has RTK GPS, so we made sure that we had a lot of options for the planting track, for the air seeder, because cover crop in the summer, everything's switched around, and then you get the planting wheat in the fall, and anyway, rambling. I guess I can figure out how to share field data. I'm sure we're not utilizing these screens as much as we could. I think the John Deere system is, I think the John Deere system, they have it figured out. It's pretty sweet that you can share everything between monitors, and I'm sure we can do it with these. We just haven't bothered. But maybe we should try bothering. I don't know. I can see everything the tractor's doing on my phone, so why can't I tell this tractor to tell that tractor what the line was? And I'm sure I could. It's probably one of those meetings in the winter that I never go to. Anyway, I am happy with the 1200. We'll just kind of learning as we go. I like to learn by doing, I guess. I don't know. This is by no means the perfect field to use it in either. This field line is nice and straight, so. Drop her in the ground. Got the auto steer engaged. Let it drive the second boundary. It's, yeah, like I said, we always plant the second pass. Close that window. We always plant the second pass following the first pass, so that the sprayer, 120-foot boom, he's not bouncing off a tree, he's going around the outside of the field. So utilizing the headland driving on this would make everything a lot more perfect. If it works. That is very annoying that it doesn't beep when it cuts out. You got this screen that won't shut up at you, and this guy is the quiet kid in the corner that won't say anything. It's working though. Looks like we have a round and a half left of corn planting for the year. Got some rain clouds rolling in, but there's nothing. The hourly says noon, 1 o'clock we get rain, but the radar isn't showing anything, so probably another wasted day where we sat still anticipating the rain, and then so we didn't cut anything, and then all the equipment's sitting still, and everybody will want 2 days after it rains to be that person that gets that day. But there's not near as much rain in this rain event, and tomorrow and today's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday have chances of rain, but they're only like 40%. So hopefully we can twist somebody's arm to go cut. I never did like a TC calibration or like a terrain compensation, so it's kind of staying right on the marker. If I was driving, I'd probably let up the hill a little bit. Might be a little bit of a wider guest row there. I think I've got 5 acres left here. I can see the one side is very low. Got all the bags everywhere. Thanks, 2 drops to go still up here. Hey! Are you okay? I'm gonna put 2 in, and we'll see what happens. Such an odd shape, it's not like I can just fill one side of the planter and we'll do 2. These are big freaking bags too. Oh, big beans. That's kind of what we got left. Manage, field. Now I want to do infill, apply. Is it applying? Why isn't it applying? I've done my 2 headlands. Be happy. Go away. Can I move you to that corner? I'll move you. So this is what I mean. If I were to mark the A and the B as I was driving it, I would know exactly where the furthest point in is to know I definitely don't want the bee over there. Like, I just want to make sure that I don't have a gap. What? That's not right at all. Let's do this again. Infill settings. Okay. Apply. Yes. Well, we will go with that. But what we're going to do is, wants me to drive 52 inches to the right. I'm just going to move that line 52 inches over. So hopefully I don't have any wedge against the headlamp. What's the point of planting 2 rows into the fence line if you leave 2 rows of prime land not planted? Good. Going down the field, section control's turning off as it wiggles and weaves around there. I always make sure to not leave the wedge because the sprayer will also leave the wedge if he follows my track, or he's got to drive off my planter track the whole time. It's good dirt right here. Why would I put 2 rows in the fence line that the birds are going to eat and leave the center of the field unplanted? Which, even now, I've got to nudge over more. This is what I mean. Brutal. Nudge over. Remark. Apply. Apply. Bit of a disaster. At least you can't see that from the road. I don't think I'll be able to turn left without getting pushed. It's quite the hill, quite the hill. We'll just play it safe. We'll look around. That's a tough one to keep corn in the combine when you're doing it. So one side of the planter just ran out. That's what I've got left to do. Instead of moving seed from one side to the other, I just turned half the planter off. And I'll go plant until either that side runs out, or I got the field done, or I gotta add seed. So now it's mapping half the planter. It'll just beep at me non-stop. Quicker than moving seed around. I watched a guy with a box planter the other day, 24-row box planter. I bet it took him an hour to plant the last round, having to move seed between the boxes. He couldn't pay me to go back to a, I personally never had to deal with a box planter. I've always had a center fill when I've been planting, but yeah. Couldn't pay me enough. So we'll go back to the pass that we turned the side of the planter off at. Drop it in the ground. The field view maps it better. Now I'm just stitching in those 8 rows. There'll be a little bit of seed disturbance from the 8 rows that are already planted, but they're just beans. It's fine. It's not a big deal. definitely need to calibrate the seed count or the acres or something, because like I know this planter's always planted 3,000 to 5,000 higher than the screen says, but it's consistently said 172 to 175 today. My target's 185, and the seed that I'm going to have to put in the planter to finish this, it planted over 185, which has done that pretty consistently the last couple jobs. So, gonna have to figure out. I don't like playing around with stuff like that. Like, I just know that it plants 3,000 high, and I don't calibrate it. I don't play around with it because I know it's really starting to get out. So it might be worth calibrating, and hopefully it's right the first job we use it next year. I'm not gonna bother doing it now for the year like this, but. I don't know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And normally when I try to fix it, I break it. So I'll probably forget this winter anyway and not do it. But I might take a look and see. Great and close. Still got some half passes to make. But still planting on that side. So. Get her. Got one little pass left. Even if it runs out at this point, I'll turn around and replant with the other side of the planter that didn't run completely out, and it'll be what it'll be. I'm not opening another bag for 0.1 of an acre. The trick is always figuring out which pass you gotta go down though. It's definitely not. It's confusing. That tells me I don't think I'm right. Oh, okay, no, I'm not right. I have the wrong side of the planter. That last pass I have to plant going the opposite way. Yeah, you can definitely screw up and have skips doing it this way, but that's better. Turns out these were enlist beans, which is what I was planting last night, so I didn't have to plant the planter empty. But those last two bags on the planter, the farmer's going to come grab quick. I'll maybe confirm with him that the last field is enlist or not before I go planting it empty. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done today. I think it'll more so be a acres calibration. That screen is so annoying. Then you gotta turn it down at 90 or you can't see. 29.5 and 30.8, so that's probably where the I guess that doesn't make sense either. 29.5 times 41 times 140,000 divide 29.5, 194, 41 times 186. So it's reading acres light, so it's planting heavier. Yeah, that makes sense. I just did 29.5, and it would be 194,000 population, is what the planner thinks it did when it was set at 178. But it actually did 186, because I've actually planted 30.8 acres. So I've got it set right, it just is planting 8,000 heavy to the screen. So we have to keep that in mind for the last job, last field year. I'm just gonna hang around and help there's 2.5 bags. I didn't realize the one bag got rubbed open on the ladder and spilled. Just gonna hang around and help him, the farmer, throw those bags in the back of his truck. And yeah, head her on home.